And welcome back to Captain's Draft 3.0. We've got Game 2 of Virtus.pro versus Empire getting underway here as the draft loads in. I'm Sayori, joined again by Purge and Pimpmuckle doing the obs in production. Here's Game 1 going the way of Virtus.pro in very convincing fashion after a wonderful display of Shadow Demon trickery from Lil. We'll see what they have in store this go around. Purge, how you feeling here coming into game number 2?
Of the heroes that are in the pool, the ones that I'm looking at, I think, are Slark. He's a hero that's really been a fixture of Captain's Draft, and I heard that he's being played more at high MMRs as well. Just because he's quite good against the stunning heroes that we're getting a lot lately. A lot of the supports that are being picked are weak stunners too, like Witch Doctor and Lich and things like that. So Slark can be very effective in games like that. So I think there's a high chance we'll see him sneak through here, since there are a bit of weak disables as well.
Okay, I think that's definitely a good call. No Arc Warden, no Riki. All right, those are the two that I look for right away. There is a Huskar. That's another one of those heroes that we've talked about who can be very strong depending on the pool.
Yeah, I don't think he's as bad as everyone else says he is. He obviously is not nearly as good against magic damage, but I think it's kind of a balanced area. He's more like an anti-mage now against magic than he was pretty much invulnerable against magic. So I think he's actually quite balanced at the moment. Huskar's in a good place.
A lot of good offlaners in this draft here. Clockwork.
I like that choice to open because there aren't that many. Like, I looked at all the supports and I'm like, yeah, these are all pretty good supports, and like Silencer can counter a couple of heroes, but Disruptor across the board is just kind of good against everything, honestly. Like, he's decent in the laning stage, he's really good in early ganks, he counters so many heroes that are ultra mobile, like Queen of Pain or Ember Spirit or things like that. Just messes with all those heroes. Slark as well, you can counter Slark a decent amount with Disruptor, so I feel like opening with that just protects him against whatever VP wants to do. It gives him a strong support and gives him a strong team fight as well.
I think he's really good against those offlaners that I was just about to tote before you said that. He's great against Clockwork, pretty good against Tide if you can catch an initiation with the AoE silence, pretty good against Spirit Breaker as well, just glimpse him back when he comes charging across the map. So
yeah, those are all the best offlaners that are in this pool, so you're completely right. Glimpse is going to be really good this game.
He's also okay against Tusk. I mean, not really a hard counter, but you know, you can do fun stuff with the ultimate and kinetic field once he's committed to the snowball and you know which way he's rolling.
Yeah. So VP's taking their time, but these first two picks are pretty important. It's their best two picks, and it kind of formulates how they want their draft to go. And they're probably thinking about, okay, if we grab these two heroes, do they have any counters left in the pool? Does this hero have any natural counters in the pool? And figuring that stuff out is very difficult. I feel like Captain's mode, or Captain's Draft, is actually a mode that should take all 5 of your team's brain power, because knowing hero counters kind of comes down to how each person plays. If you play support, you don't necessarily know what all the counters to Clockwork are, or things like that. So everybody participating could help.
It's a good exercise to get your brain thinking that way, where you only have limited choices. And I can imagine there are times where teams realize, like, oh wow, you're right, this is more effective against this hero than we thought. Sometimes you understand something on paper, but doing it and actually, feeling the power is just a much different experience. Empire Marana, okay.
Yeah, regardless of the Disruptor pick, they still did Ember Spirit. Disruptor's pretty good against Ember. Ember's okay against Disruptor as well. If you get Glimpse back right before you get sent back, you put on another Remnant, and then assuming he doesn't ult you can escape. So Ember's pretty good against Disruptor, but Disruptor's also good against Ember. If Disruptor has his ult ready, Ember's going to have trouble.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Dazzle Axe thing. It kind of depends on who gets the initiation, who's in better position, because they can both counter each other to some degree. But we'll probably see FNG on the Marana again. He played the hard 5 kind of roaming Marana in the last game, ended up being really effective, and you even commented on his ability to kind of transition into the mid game and get a mech, eventually got Guardian Greaves. So we'll see if they go for that again. Legion Commander and Spirit Breaker picked up in tandem, and oh man, okay.
A troll? What?
Third pick troll, but with the ogre, so
I miss him, dude. Oh my god, he's
cool.
here.
Bloodlust troll is no joke.
That sounds pretty solid. And also the two heroes that Empire have for cores right now are, Spirit Breaker could be support. Legion Commander, Spirit Breaker. Both of these heroes are very reliant on attacking, and Whirling Axes will give mischance. Like, Troll is actually an okay pick here. They've got great disables with Ogre, Ember, and Marana. Now, Troll isn't good against Slark, I would say, because Slark can, in a lot of ways, he can Dark Pact off the axes and he can go invis, but I'm excited to see a Troll game, man. It's been, I dare say, too long. I used to be really disgusted with Troll. I've had a good 1 year decompress. I'm ready for Troll. His ult is so much work. Wow, holy crap. Game is
Okay.
Turn to pick.
Well,
Finish.
these teams took some time at the beginning, but they know what they want now. Witch Doctor, the final choice here for Empire, so it will be a core Spirit Breaker, or support Spirit, no, core Spirit Breaker. My God, Havos will be playing it in the offlane. And Tidehunter here, the final pick for VP, so that should be their offlaner for Phobos.
I love this Tide pick, man. It pulls together what VP needs. Like, Troll's biggest problem is that enemy heroes are not locked down and he has to run after them. But if you throw a Ravage into that on top of an Arrow or Ogre Magi or Ember Spirit disabling, man, if he gets a fairly early BKB, he's going to have a great time. And I don't imagine Legion Commander is going to enjoy dueling him until she gets a Blade Mail. So I think it's actually a pretty good Troll game, and even if Troll's game doesn't go super well, they're still going to have a Ember Spirit to fall back on.
Yeah, absolutely. And, even though Slark is better than Troll in most regards, the one thing that Troll can do is man-fight Slark to some degree. If he gets that bash, that can slow Slark down a little bit. Like, I feel like there are a lot of heroes that just can't go blow for blow with Slark with the essence shifts and all that, but Troll can at least try his luck at a bash after a couple of auto attacks once he gets lifesteal.
That's true.
Yeah.
He does lose some stats overall, but I think out of all the heroes, Troll's one hero that doesn't care that much about that. His int is very low in the first place, and he doesn't really need mana to cast. His strength is kind of weak, and his agility is a little bit weak, but he gets all of this attack speed just from his abilities, not from buying items, basically. A lot of other heroes rely on their stats because they are good at farming, but Troll's more just like, he just has all of these things built into his character. So if he gets bashes and tons of attack speed naturally, he could potentially work better against Slark than a lot of other carries. And plus the Bloodlust on top of that. He's going to have basically a free SNY is what Bloodlust provides you. It's like 10 to 16% movement speed. That's the big component of SNY that's important. So he doesn't necessarily, he'll probably still buy SNY, but he's going to be running close to 522 movement speed late game, even without phase.
Well, we'll see how it works out. I'm excited to say the least, though. We could even see a skirmish break out about this bottom rune. It's a 4-on-4. Lil takes the brunt of the damage. They see that Funnick has leveled up the Thunder Strike. Great damage early on, but lacking some utility with Kinetic Field or Glimpse. And, well, it's not going to matter here as both sides just kind of disengage. Meanwhile, up top, this Tidehunter from the deep, my God, this guy is tricked out. He's got a shark riding a scuba diver with a blink dagger, with a fish, with an octopus staff. What the hell is going on?
Guy has clearly been collecting Tidehunter items for years.
I didn't even know you could have that many like huge items. That is the coolest Tide I've ever seen, I think.
Okay, so both shifting to the bot lane. VP basically is doing an aggressive try here. Oh, they could go for a Hobo skill.
Oh,
He doesn't have charge. No mana.
yeah, he's out of mana. He's got a couple of stick charges here, but it's not going to be enough.
Trying to dodge the arrow. Oh, that's it.
A noble effort, but hard to dodge it at that point. First blood gets drawn by silence, so the bonus gold goes to the troll. Pretty good stuff for VP. That's about ideal for an aggro try. Meanwhile, up top, Phobos taking a little damage. Looks like Empire will react with somewhat of an aggro try of their own. Disruptor, Witch Doctor, and Slark, but Phobos in a much better position to feel that he's gone for Anchor Smash level 1, and they're going to have some trouble killing him if they commit to it.
Yeah, this doesn't look very good for Empire right now because, yeah, Slark definitely has the potential to kill a Tidehunter, but this aggressive tri-lane is going to do really well, and they're already quite set up in this laning stage. They checked for the D-ward to make sure the large camp was there. They stacked it immediately, and now they're going to do some pulls occasionally. So despite being in the off-lane, they're going to get some good experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Havos will do whatever he can at this point just to survive, find last hits whenever he can, and just try to hug the tower. We'll see how he compares to Phobos, but already Phobos off to a great start, almost level 3 from just that first set of creeps just pushing into the tower. Now the rotation back down bottom onto Havos. Benji ready to line up an arrow. Silent connects with some whirling axes. That'll slow down the Space Cow, but he does have a charge this time, so they need to be a little more careful about how they go about this. They've got the Fire Blast available on the Ogre to try to set things up. FNG on his way in. It's TP and a charge across. Now it's FNG that can be in trouble. He's taking tower shots, and they will turn it around. Dies to the tower as No Fear makes the rotation. Now Lil getting body block, gets bashed into the tower.
The tower hit him.
Wow, level
That's
2
so
Maledict
lucky.
picked up by the Witch Doctor. Is it going to be enough to get the kill on Lil? I don't think so. That Ogre is pretty darn beefy.
Yeah, the fact that the tower hit him was crazy. He was closest to the tower, but I was sure it was going to hit the creeps instead. Silence in
now,
trouble.
charge onto Silence. The follow-up
It's a
damage
bash.
for a kill, though. Pavost hoping for that lucky RNG, but not going to find it. He doesn't have boots, and the Troll does, so won't be able to chase him down. There is an Orb of Venom, but not going to be enough to make up the gap. So,
Lil's back.
coming. This Ogre's ready to fight. He's got a barrel of fire. Havost is out of mana this time. There's no charging away. He does have stick charges, though, and that will get him close to enough.
Honestly.
No Fear's the one that's in trouble, though. Big damage. Fairy Fire, he's out of items, and he falls. They make it a 1-for-1. They get the Ogre Magi in return, and Havost should be able to live. That beefy Spirit Breaker will survive.
I like the amount of heroes punching each other in the face there has been this game. It's been pretty good, man.
Yeah, this is action-packed. This is that classic CIS Dota you hope for. Even the mid lane, we haven't talked about it too much, but G is trading blows with that double damage Legion Commander, and it hurts. On top of that, we haven't talked about this mid lane Legion Commander. That is definitely a special treat you don't see too often.
Yeah, you just don't see it because Legion just can get outlaned by so many mid heroes, but she's actually very good in 1v1s against melee heroes, especially if you get a little bit of boots advantage. You can chase people down with your mobility advantage. You have good sustain, you have a moment of courage. People can't trade with you very well. It's just going to go pretty well for him here.
Yeah, and he's got a nice last hit advantage, 24-7 versus the 17-2 Ember Spirit, so G's doing just fine, but not running over the mid lane as it does happen on occasion when you're playing against G. It's coming to dual lanes now for Empire, and we'll see more action down bottom. Havost dodges the arrow, but it smacks No Fear in the face. Witch Doctor has the Voodoo Restoration on, but it'll count for nil as he goes down here. Another one up on the scoreboard for VP. Nice arrow there from FNG to split the pins.
This tri-lane's working great, man. I don't know if the shifting the Witch Doctor down here was that beneficial, but I guess they kind of had to because it's not like Witch Doctor top was going to do anything. He could also maybe sat mid, pressure the Ember more, but so far this dual lane for Empire hasn't been very great.
Ash on Havost. Silent doing some good damage here. Will force out a charge, and even just forcing Havost to charge when he's in a little bit of trouble is really good. Arrow's going to miss, but G's going to bump right into him. Misses the Searing Chains. Havost picks up the Invis Rune, and he'll just walk away. That was a small stroke of luck, perhaps, for the Spirit Breaker. They did not have vision of that rune, so he didn't know it was an Invis. Yeah, that's lucky.
And he denied the bottle that G was about to fill, so he actually got pretty screwed there.
That ended up...
might gank, though.
Really good.
Has 2 in Thunderstrike. It's pretty good damage here. Yeah, he looks dead, man.
So, Kinetic Field will connect. FN's there. He's got the duel, but do they use it? He can't. He gets stunned up. G may still likely fall. Big sustain coming from No Fear. FN wants to dive this tower. He needs one more auto attack, but no. Searing Chains are there. They stop him dead in his tracks. Now Disruptor falls off to the side, and FN dies from the deep commitment. They will end up killing the Ember Spirit thanks to the Maledict from the Witch Doctor, but dare I say, not worth there. 2 for 1.
He lived with 2 HP at the before the last Maledict proc, so he got a lot of value out of his Flame Guard. Kept him alive for so long.
Now down bottom, Silent gets charged by Havost. TP from Funnick as he comes back to life. No glimpse here, though. He gets off the level 2 Thunderstrike. Kinetic Field falls short. Havost has a charge up in 2, but won't go for it. And a TP rotation now from G to the bottom lane. Maybe they go for a counter kill here? Silent, low on HP,
definitely.
but...
If they get the slow off on Funnick, he dies.
That connects. G gets the Searing Chains. Charge in onto Silent. Havost hoping for a lucky bash. Won't get it. Oh, there he goes. Gets it at the end. One bounce from the cask onto G, but he wants to dive this. He goes in with a Remnant forward onto Havost. Taking big damage. He'll be forced to retreat. Does have a full bottle. But the charge in from Havost. Arrow comes in as a rotation for FNG. Turn it around back the other way. It's like ping pong in the bottom lane, but one more VP. They come out big.
You know, I think if he would have triple remnanted, he could have killed the Spirit Breaker there. Might have missed him, and guaranteed his death. But they ultimately get the kill with a nice rotation from Mirana. Now it's 7-4 at 6 minutes 15 seconds. Pretty good game so far.
Yeah, this is really action-packed.
But Wilson, the offlane, actually is more CS than Slark now. This is actually a really bad Slark offlane at this stage. Because every time he comes forward, he's just going to get anchor smashed. And if he doesn't have Arcane Boots yet or anything like that, he's got a little bit of regen, he's got Kraken Shell as well, so even Slark hitting him doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah. You're talking about the rotations from the Witch Doctor to the bottom lane, and it really has not done much for this Spirit Breaker. He's only died twice, but you look at his last hit, he is 3-2 right now as their safe lane farmer. That is really brutal. Spirit Breaker is one of those heroes that really plays based on momentum. He's got an okay experience, so he'll still be relevant for a little while once he gets another strike up. But you're really going to start to feel that lack of farm he has as we move into the mid-game. We see some pressure on Phobos in the top lane, but not even close to a kill.
Baited, he doesn't even have Glimpse yet. Wasted TP low. I can see the value in getting 2 points of Thunderstrike because it's a great damage ability. At level 1 it does like what 160 magic damage. Level
One of the
2
highest
it does like
for
240
level 1 spells, I think.
Yeah, it's really good damage, but if you don't get that level 4 and get the glimpse afterwards, then you're stuck in this position where Funnick is just kind of worthless. And because they've been doing this aggressive dueling thing, he can't just easily walk like 2 feet to go do a pull to get his level 4. So now he's put his team in a kind of a bad spot where his hero actually doesn't do very much. It's only 7 minutes. He just hit 4 now, but man, he really needed glimpse a few times earlier.
Yeah, I completely agree. Things definitely rocky for Empire. We look at the golden experience graphs during this pause here. 7 minutes in, already 2,500 net worth lead, about 2K experience lead. All 3 of the cores for VP farming really well. We haven't spent too much time looking at the top lane, but Phobos is really having a great time. He's just about to hit level 7. He's got 34 last hits. This is a really good start for the Tide Hunter, and we'll see what kind of an item build he goes for. He could look for like a mech first and then move into a blink. Could be going for tranquil boots. Could just be some casual regen and goes right into the blink dagger. A lot of options for Phobos with this kind of early.
There's like no way that he'll make Tranquils though. It's just not a good Tide item. You'll have too many mana problems. Like Arcanes for sure will be the solution. I think you could definitely see him pick up a mech. I mean, Mirana could build it later, but if he gets a mech instantly and you're up against a very burst damage heavy lineup, which they have, dual, they've got a Slark, they've got a Spirit Breaker. If you could put a mech into the equation on your side of the team, while also getting the acceleration of Ravage and the Troll ulti, I really feel like they would have better team fight with that. So I think going the fast mech is absolutely something that he'll need. I think the only reason he bought this early in the laning stage is because he needed a bit more regen in his lane. Yeah. He'll probably pick up Arcane Boots now when he gets to the side shop and pretty much guarantee his farm then.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, we don't see Tide so much in the current meta, but the last couple times I got to cast him, I remember seeing the mech first, so time will tell. But it looks like Evo's having some connection issues here, unfortunately, so hopefully you can get that sorted. Look at some of the yummy replays here from this this opening series. Again, to reiterate, folks, we do have another series coming up today. It starts, I believe, at 20 CET. It's about an hour and a half from now. That is Alliance versus Digital Chaos, the other 2 teams here in our second group for Captain's Draft 3.
We have so many good teams in our tournament. This is awesome, man.
Well, yeah, the qualifying phase is the first stage, so that's, those teams were pretty good, and those games were pretty fun, and that was just the opening round. Now that you're into the group stage, it's really the top tier teams. I mean, obviously no Secret, no OG, but aside from that, it's pretty much the top teams you want to watch going head to head in this fun game mode.
Yeah, I wonder why so many teams like it. You would think, I guess it depends on personality, right? Like some of the teams are like, wow, I wish I wouldn't have to play the same heroes every single game. But others may say, you know what, we feel like we have a better understanding of pub Dota. Not saying this is pubs, but pubs definitely require a larger breadth of hero knowledge, and maybe they want to show the true. Maybe it's just money. I don't know. It's probably the money.
I think it's a combination. I think some teams do like the break, and it's a little bit refreshing to play a quote-unquote fun game mode when you're grinding Captain's mode all day, every day, for months on end. But the Captain's Draft tournament has also always been associated with pretty good value in terms of the amount of games that the teams have to play versus how much money they can potentially win. So I think that's another appeal for sure. But down bottom, Silent, some trouble. Whirling Axes will buy him a little bit of time, but big damage coming his way. Tide Hunter's here, though. That's the first Ravage of the game. Was it enough to keep Silent alive? Aloha Dance inside of the Dark Pact, or pardon, the Shadow Dance. We will get a kill onto the Troll Warlord. Mid lane now. Arrow off the mark, and no kill will come out. So a noble effort. First Ravage used defensively, and Empire still get the kill.
Yeah, it was a perfect Ravage. The problem was that the Witch Doctor cask was mid-air while the Ravage came, so it resulted in a bunch of chain stun. Otherwise, Troll absolutely would have lived there. So I like the play from DK Phobos, but unfortunately for them, the cask got him.
Yep. All right. Kills like that will bring Empire back into this game. You see a big difference just on the graphs from full rotation. Savos now down bottom, trying to fight over the rune. Does grab the bounty. Turns for a charge across the map. Do they have a stun here? This should be an easy kill on the Spirit Breaker now. He has to cancel the charge as G closes that exit path, and Phobos will walk away with credit for that one. Nice setup there.
Dude, FNG's playing so amazing this game. He's 3-1-4 now. He's landed a lot of arrows. He's 5 at 8 minutes. He has his Arcane Boots ready, so he can basically just jungle to get the 6 if needed. And now FVP has also shifted their lanes, as has Empire, shifted things back to normal, carries in the safe lane, and offlaners in the off lane.
Yeah, this is scary. We saw how effective FNG was in the last game when he had a very slow start in terms of farm. They missed a couple of what should have been free kills. And here he's had the opposite, amazing start. What does that mean for the mid game? I feel like he could really transition into a damage dealer at some point. I mean,
both their supports are really farmed.
Yeah,
Ogre Mage is almost 8. He's got boots, almost an urn, and Ring of Bestows. I think he'll buy Arcanes here, most likely.
Yep.
Yeah, just to give him tons of mana, but I like his skill build, a bit of Fire Blast, a bit of Ignite, and a little bit of Bloodlust as well. I just see VP transitioning so well here. Like, Funnick is 5, but he's got no items, just brown boots here. He's getting zoned by some Ignite.
Yeah, the net worth chart right now is actually really interesting. You see the top 2 of Empire leading the chart, then all 5 of VP in the middle, and the bottom 3 for Empire. Like, Empire's farm is completely lopsided on their 2 cores, and everyone else is still suffering.
It was that laning stage, like the Witch Doctor shifted to the safe lane, he didn't get any pulls going, it was mostly fights that didn't go Empire's way. Whereas VP won the fights, they got some pulls going, the tide eventually transitioned to out laning. Oh my god, Ogre just killed him?
What?
He just spammed Ignite on him like so many times that he died. That's what just happened.
God.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Wow, that
That's
right
a big
there
mistake.
just speaks to the difference in the current state of supports in this matchup, I think. Like, that is brutal.
I mean, that's Ogre, man. Ignite does 400 magic damage. It's a great damaging skill. Once you rush fight.
Being charged here, he will remnant back, but both channels another strike. Cast will find a bounce. G taking huge damage from the Death Ward, but it's just not enough. Now the Ravage from Phobos connects on 4, and G goes right back in. They get 2 kills straight away. Aloha Dance trying to split from FN. Slark could still get away here, but he's already used his Shadow Dance. FNG looking for an arrow opening. They will just back up. Happy with a 2-for-0. Again, Phobos with just impeccable positioning. Just as it looks like Empire is about to get a nice easy kill on G, he completely turns it around, Ravage on all 4, and makes it a 2-for-0 the other way, securing a nice fight for his team. Beautiful.
Just such a good Ravage, man. Got any anchor smashed on 4 people. That stage when your damage is reduced by 60% and you had just been stunned for that long, fight's over completely. Nothing they can do.
Yeah, and Silent up top, glimpse, kinetic field. There is a long-range charge, but still pretty far away. No fear with the cask, bounces back to Silent. All right, that'll maybe buy him some space, but no, Pavos gets there. Charge under the tower. Silent dot. It's all the power of glimpse there. Level 2 for Funnick,
and
set it up.
that's really showing just the weakness of Troll Warlord. Like, the hero is very weak to disables, and one of the things that he gets beaten by is just getting ganked consistently, and he doesn't have... He can catch up a little bit, but yeah, kind of tough.
Moonlight Shadow set up onto No Fear. Lil hits him with a couple of stuns. FNG connects with an easy arrow, and that's a free kill for Virtus.pro. They do use a Moonlight Shadow, but well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely worth it here. Urn is up on Ogre Magi now. We'll see if he transitions to Aether Lens or goes for a straight Axe build. I think there's a lot of different ways you can play Ogre right now, but Aether Lens is an amazing item on the hero due to the low range that Fire Blast gives you, and then Ignite kind of becomes more of a global ability when you have that finish. Yeah, he is going to go Aether Lens. I absolutely love this item build on Ogre. It's very good.
Yeah. No doubt. Blink Dagger, though, on the LC, perhaps the item that Empire has been waiting for to try and get a little more active.
Top tower is under attack.
But LC still has not won a duel. I don't think he's even used duel yet. And one of
farming well, at least.
Yeah. So we'll see what he can do with this Blink. They smoke up right away. He's got Funnick right nearby. They may go for a kill onto G.
They saw G, yeah. They saw him pick up the rune. That's the hero they absolutely want. They're going to predict him being at the large camp. Smoke does not break, though, so they know he's not there.
Oh, mid. Arrow actually connects on No Fear.
They're going to go on G now.
Yep, G down bottom. Well, that's a pretty easy duel. They'll connect with a Static Storm, and this should be a freebie. Nice setup. The Ember Spirit can do. Plenty of lockdown. Nice Blink Dagger reveal for LC. That's free 10 damage.
Yeah, really good gank there. There's almost nothing he can do, really. They even threw the silence the same time the duel came out in case G pressed his Remnant button the same time that they approached, so nicely done there.
He's notorious for his mechanics and his fast reflexes, so I think doing a little overkill there is definitely the play. Oh, FNG gets caught. A big TP reaction, though. 3 heroes from VP come in for vengeance. A multicast onto Aloha Dance. He still has the Dark Pack, though. Whirling Axes will be off the mark, and he'll stay fine in the tree line. Pounces over. He'll make it out. That's a big victory for Empire. They get the kill on FNG as well as G, and then 3 TPs on top of that. Now No Fear with a cast, bounce it around, goes back to Silent. Ravage comes in a little too late. They've already lost the troll. Witch Doctor will have to pay with his life. Aloha Dance on the run. Shadow Dance has been used by both with a charge back the other way, trying to keep his Slark alive. G taking big damage. Mech now used to buy him some time. Sleight of Fist, Remnant out. He lives for now, but Aloha Dance going in deep. Glimpse back. G with searing chains on 2 heroes. Funnick gets locked in place. Now he's the next casualty of this fight. Charge from Havos. No way to stop it. He makes it away. And meanwhile, Aloha Dance TP's out in the tree line. Empire somehow completely split it up and really minimized their losses pretty effectively after killing the troll.
Yeah, it's looking a little iffy for VP. The troll consistently is getting killed. Slark is consistently getting kills. And that means that as the game drags on, Slark is very likely to just out-carry the Troll. Troll is just a focus of damage lately. He needs a fast BKB to be strong in the early game, but he just keeps dying.
This is really crippling his item progression. You look at his inventory, and it's basically what he had 5 minutes ago. Phase Boots, Aquila, and a Helm of Iron Will. Doesn't even have the lifesteal component yet. Ember Spirit probably going BOT's first item. He'll get the last hit on the tower, and there you go. That'll be his BOT money. So he still isn't really online yet in terms of fighting and doing damage. Still has a ways to go to get that Battle Fury, but it's going to get harder because Slark didn't have any items. Now he does. That's a Shadow Blade on the way. And yeah, I don't know if VP are quite ready to deal with an invisible Slark moving around with a Lothar's ready.
It's going to be tough, especially against Mirana. Mirana is notoriously bad against Slark, because if Slark does pounce him, he just dies.
Yep,
Ooh,
up
they
top,
almost get a little
TP out, just in the nick of time.
Defend his tower though. The Bloodless Solon is going to do a lot. It will die, but
VP do have a lot of options though. They have a lot of ways that they can stall, and now that they have the BOTs up on Ember Spirit, they can farm around the map pretty effectively. You see their positioning right now, they see the push up top, so they just move into the enemy jungle. They start stealing some of their farm, and they actually catch Funnick. G sets it up with Searing Chains for an arrow, and they even get a free kill. Definitely still a sign of life here for Virtus.pro. Charge
oh, they see him,
on the way. G Remnant's back. There's a sentry down. Aloha Dance needs to be careful. They catch him, they force out the Shadow Dance. They get him down to about half health, and Slark will back up.
If they would have had the arrow there, they would have killed Slark. It would have been huge, but it was on cooldown due to the Disruptor kill. So they need to get this tower and get back, because I don't know if they can still fight this. I mean, Disruptor's going to show up.
Yeah. Still, they seem prepared for the Slark, though. That Sentry Ward down right away. The way they position that fight, very good. Now they'll get aggressive. They dive in past the tower. Cass doing a lot of work here, stuck side of the Static Storm. G gets dueled. He'll be the first one to fall. And now big damage coming out onto VP with the Ravage from DK Phobos. They'll finish off the Legion Commander, but now Slark joining the party. He's ready to clean up. He gets stunned. A multi-task cast from the Ogre, getting some lucky RNG. Will just wants to bring down Funnick before he dies. The Urn will be enough to secure the kill, and now he's just going to tango around, kiting the Slark as best he can. Falls in range of the tower. It's a 3 for 4, a very bloody exchange, and of course VP not getting the better of it. A mega kill streak that Lil had goes the way of Witch Doctor, so Empire did quite a bit out of that. LC got a successful duel, and Slark didn't even die.
I love the aggression that VP started it with, but Funnick had like a god tier ulti that caught the two most important heroes on VP, and then the charge as well came through and bashed both of them. They just took tons of damage in that early engagement. It was really nicely done. VP did end up getting a couple kills, and they things together despite how the initiation went, but it was still really poor for them. So they need to be a little bit more careful in the next team fights. They have to try to lead with Ravage or an arrow or something like that, I think.
Yeah. VP are still farming pretty well. They still have a slight lead, mostly because of support disparity. We'll see up top, G gets initiated on by FN, Slark in the neighborhood, and this is where things start to get scary. When they can do that so easily, they can just continue to move around. Now LC doesn't have to worry about sitting back and farming. She can just start to hunt and look for kills if the Slark is in the neighborhood. Now up to 38 extra damage, and a Blade Mail on the way once he gets to her rear.
Yeah, and that's 2 heroes on VP now that aren't doing very well. Trollard has consistently been dying. He's 2-5 and 5. Ember Spirit's now 4-4 and 6. So, like, does VP have a late game solution? They'll kind of carry this game on Ogre Magi. It only does so much.
Yeah, Arrow connects on to No Fear from downtown. Lil's on the way in. Can they find this kill? Yep, they get in range for the stun. Compliments of the Aether Lens. Silent will be able to get a free kill on the Witch Doctor, but now Empire, is it going to be free after all? Aloha Dance doing pretty good damage to the supports. Savos, meanwhile, charging Silent on the bottom side. Another strike used. Silent trying to stay alive as best he can. Aloha Dance won't be able to find any kills on the other side of the fight. Now Silent, pretty darn speedy, 423 movement speed. It's away. Now they want to reinitiate. They know Slark doesn't have an ultimate, and then he's low on mana. They catch a boast, and the Spirit Breaker falls. It's a 2-0 now. Funnick could potentially get caught here. Arrow from FNG catches him. Oh my, 5 seconds Kinetic field, not going to be enough to keep him alive as Silent starts throwing in the ranged axes. Started as just a fishing arrow in the jungle, is now erupted into a disastrous exchange here for Empire. Slark barely walks away, and now they lose a tier 1 tower in the mid, further opening up the map here for Virtus.pro. Also, Blink Dagger out on Tide.
Yeah, the biggest thing in that fight was the fact that Ogre and Murano were together. If Murano was the one that got caught in the pounce, she would have died most likely to Slark, but because it was the Ogre didn't care. He's like, I'm an Ogre, I have ridiculous amounts of armor and HP. Slark can't deal with the Ogre just yet. He's going to need maybe one more item to do so, and that meant that Slark wasted all of his mana pretty much trying to kill those supports. It didn't get anything done, and knew that he couldn't fight later. So as soon as his mana's low, VP knows that they can play aggressive. They also landed that great arrow. And as a whole, VP gets a Rosh out of this most likely, and a great fight.
Will they? This is not the fastest Rosh, and there are a lot of heroes on Empire starting to converge over. Looks like they're not so suspicious as they're playing around with creeps outside of the pit. Vost just walks in there. Hey guys, what's up? Oh jeez, Rosh is almost dead. That's going to make it a 5v4. Now the Ravage connects on all 4 of the remaining heroes. Phobos again coming in the clutch. They get the kill on Witch Doctor. Aloha Dance will move into the pit to check on the Rosh HP, but Funnick puts his ult on top of himself, makes a little bit of space. In the end, it won't be enough. He dies. 3 dead for Empire. Aloha Dance now on the run. Looks like the LC is going to be able to make it out no problem, but Aloha Dance will be equally lucky. He jukes the arrow and makes it to the side shop. Now this should be a nice, easy Rosh for Virtus.pro.
So you can't make those kind of mistakes on Spearbreaker, man. Like, I know they had to check the pit, but...
Can't just space check it like that. That's...
I don't know. Yeah, that was very hopeful there. It didn't work out at all. Maybe you could have, I don't know. There's no good solution other than let VP take it, I guess. I guess that's the best solution. Let VP take the Rosh, do some split pushing. They'll get the Aegis up, but they can still get kills, you know? It's going to be a while until Troll's super farm.
I mean, one thing you could do there is just put a kinetic field that's kind of halfway into the pit, like that comes in like this, just to try to scare them, see if they come out of the fog.
It's kind of scary as well, though, because Ember Spear could initiate and stop him. Ogre could stun from long range. Like, there's too many ways that just leads into the disruptor.
I guess the only difference is your Spirit Breaker doesn't die right away before the fight starts. I don't know if it's really better to have your Disruptor die, though, before he gets his ult off. That was really regardless. Now we'll see Aloha Dance still on the hunt. He's got FN nearby. They find G again. Blade Mail's up, and this should be another free bout of dual damage for FN. He did have the Aegis, so not an official death, but you still get the damage for it. I think LC will be pretty happy with that.
Like, if they just would have done what they just did now without taking the Rosh fight, then, you know, Empire doesn't care at all. They get the damage on Legion, they burn the Aegis. Like, it's so easy for them to kill the Aegis. I think G's gonna still be happy about it. He's like, hey, nice, I died, but, like, at least I didn't die this time. Like, I'll trade an Aegis for that. Completely worth it for him.
I mean, Aloha Dance is still just on the hunt. Ever since he picked up this Shadow Blade, he has been so aggressive with his positioning. This time, though, 4 heroes for VP. I don't think he's gonna find an opening to initiate. Looks like probably a Scotty on the way for him. First Ultimate Orb already picked up by the Clark.
Yeah, most likely. BKB is good against Ravage, but that's about it. The other spells that he can deal with just Dark Pack. So I think it's a good item. It'll help him deal with heroes, even to like Tide here.
Oh, here we go. Empire just unrelenting in their aggression. FN getting pretty scary. 66 damage and counting. BKB on the way, most likely with that Ogre Club. This is exactly what Empire need to do. They haven't been behind by a huge amount, but these pickoffs are really going to start to add up. Now they're going to find Lil, perhaps. Stun onto Aloha Dance. Arrow off the mark. Not much Lil can do here. He'll try to TP home. Oh my, the glimpse comes out just in time, and he will fall. Wicked sick now for Aloha Dance. Does he find FNG also? Moonlight Shadow used. He'll hide in the tree line. Meanwhile, G just trying to get the hell out of there. He's read this story before, and I think he knows how it ends. He bumps right into FN. Blink Dagger coming up in about 5. G actually not in the clear yet.
Oh, he has no mana now. He needs mana.
Oh my. He's got 1 stick charge. Pounce actually off the mark. Gets the Remnant down. So FN almost grabs the duel. Played by G. He will make it out.
Every time Slark hits him, he loses 1 point of int, and it kept putting him below that 150 to Remnant there. That was so utterly close. Could have easily died there, but barely.
Really close to the Battle Fury, though. That is one piece of really good news for VP. Ember is still farming, even though getting picked off a lot.
Well, Sound going for some Ancients here. He's got Helm of the Dominator.
Oh no, G, BO3s to the bottom lane. Didn't know that Slark was lingering nearby. Now he's all by himself. He's got no out. That is just unfortunate. They're going to drop the hammer on him. Everything comes out. Static Storm, Nether Strike, as well as the duel. More free damage for FN.
Did they smoke for that? Because
No, that was literally, he BOT'd down here, and Slark was just sitting right next to it with Shadow Blade on, and just jumped on him, and the team rotated.
The other heroes got here so fast, and they didn't have vision here, I guess, but they had other 2 really good wards to spot for any rotations the bot lane. I'm a little surprised he got caught.
I didn't see exactly where that positioning was, but I think they were just kind of in this quadrant of darkness.
So just a little unlucky, I guess.
Yeah, I would call it unlucky. I mean, Slark was literally next to the creep he TP'd on. Oh, man.
Yeah, I guess that makes it pretty tough as well. Slark is pretty fast. You can chase him down. So he does get killed and delays the Battle Fury again. But on the bright side, Silence is farming very rapidly now. He just cleared another Ancient stack here. He's going to work on his BKB next. His Mythical Hammer is up. Once he gets that, he's going to be finally ready to fight. And the heroes he's going to want to kill is probably Disruptor and Witch Doctor. Usually when you're playing Troll, you aim for those supports. If you can kill them during your BKB, then your fight is going well. But if you can't kill those supports, and then your BKB runs out, you very oftentimes will just get kited heavily, and then your damage is going to be mostly mitigated. Again, the problem with Troll is you just don't have good disables. So you need to kill somebody during your BKB or have your allies lock them down to guarantee your DPS maximize.
Yeah. And speaking of disables, I think Lil, he's obviously had a very big impact so far, but he's going to continue to operate basically as a core once he gets this Aghanim Scepter. He's about 1,500 gold away, and that adds an extra stun with the chance for RNG to lock somebody down. Also, just big damage output. He can get back with that other lens, spam out those fire blasts, and that can make all the difference when Troll is in the fray trying to find those kills and lock targets down.
Yeah, it absolutely makes a difference. Oh, it hits a wall dance.
4-second stun. Is this an easy kill? Sure is. Nothing the Slark could do. That's a wicked 6 streak now going to the Troll Warlord of all heroes. That is great stuff for Silent.
That's like a game-winning arrow, man. That stuff is so good. Like, if you can get little kills like that against Slark, it's so hard to kill the hero. And for once, Aloha Dance was not watching where he was running and get killed. They got a gem now in Tide as well, so dewarding everything. The Battle Fury's up on Ember. He's ready to fight. They can definitely push and possibly take a tower.
Yeah, this Tide is ready, man. They're finally coming together. BKB is out on the Troll. He's got it, just needs the Courier, so it should be arrived here right around that 26-minute mark or so. At the moment, Empire pushing. Yep, gonna get a tier 1, it looks like. Tier 1 for tier 2, perhaps?
I think he's still missing the Ogre Club on Troll. Doesn't have that yet.
Oh, he doesn't have the club. Okay. I thought...
Oh, yeah. Get glimpse. They need to go on OP. He got sent back. This is really bad.
Silent almost makes it out. Moonlight Shadow's still on G, trying to box them out. Great positioning, but in comes Savos. Bashes all over onto Silent. They get the kill there, and Ember Spirit gets dueled under the tower. Back-to-back kills on dire cores. Lil will TP out. Close call, but does make it. Great defense here from Empire.
I mean, they have to anticipate that. The glyphs bought them so much time on that tower, and they really felt like they deserved the tower, but things went so poorly, and Ember Spirit went in to try to defend Troll, but it just got them a double kill and another duel. Should just let Troll die there, and that's maybe his fault for not getting BKB. The fact that he bought SNY first was a little bit weird to me. He's already got Bloodlust, so he's already got all this mobility advantage. Did he really need to buy SNY before going for BKB? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, agreed. And you're definitely right. He doesn't have the Ogre Club yet. I thought it was already on the Courier. So that BKB further delayed for the Troll Warlord now. Also kind of an odd way for VP to do that. They could have just traded tier 1 for tier 2, but they TP'd 2 heroes back to the bottom tier 2. And that was why DK Phobos wasn't there for the Ravage to try and reset things to buy space for the Troll.
Yeah, so maybe poor communication, or DK Phobos didn't alert his team that he was going to the bot lane to defend.
It just seemed like they thought Empire was really going to commit to a push when they... I mean, that tower was really low. It seemed to me more like they just wanted to finish off the tier 1 while they had the chance and then come back to take the fight.
Like, VP probably just said, oh, well, this is fine. We'll get the tower and we're going to go farm our Tide at the same time. They won't be able to get this, but... Forgot about Disruptor, man. As soon as that Thunderstrike came, it was bad for them. Yeah. He needed to be invis that the glimpse didn't come through, but he did it just in time.
I like how every time FNG lands a hero, chat just erupts with VAC.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As if the possibility of just landing a clutch arrow is not even a reality. You have to be using an aimbot if you're landing clutch arrows.
Yeah,
what a world we live in.
Hacks lately. I got super accused of hacks the other day.
Really?
Yeah, and I was actually tagged up for once. And they're like, do we know you're cheating? Or something like that. They were like really adamant about it. So I just shit talked them all game. I can't pass up that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would totally use cheats on my main account and tag up as Purge. Like, that makes a whole lot of sense, guys.
Yeah, that's Good plan, good plan. Tier 2 in the top lane goes down into the Wrath of Empire. LC gets another one to her name. 94 dual damage up on her, as well as level 16. And that fresh BKB. BKB's all around. Troll Warlord has just grabbed his as well. So there's some more magic immunity ready for fighting.
It needed that so bad. Like, VP just literally can't fight until Troll gets BKB. It's a hero that absolutely needs it, because if they have any stuns, you are not doing damage. That's basically how it works. And then you waste your ultimate, and then your enemies kite you, and then the fight is just kind of over.
Slark walked over a sentry. They know exactly where he is. Will actually gets initiated on here. Duel comes in. It's pretty good damage, and they will get it. Ravage from Phobos just a little bit too late. So he does force out the Static Storm, and it doesn't stop the Ravage. So far, just a 1 for nil. Ogre the only one down, but Havos on the backside. Trap in Phobos with Kinetic Field, and this should be another one. Do they have the detection? They do. And down goes the Tide.
Man, they're just miscommunicating here. They played that fight really bad. They called the ditch, but then Phobos went in, ravaged, and Troll World was booking it. And then when the Tide was kind of running back and they found the Spirit Breaker, Silence started attacking him, and then instead of running, DK Phobos started dealing with him. So they lost 2 heroes there, or they at least lost the Ravage, which they didn't need to. They could have just let the Ogre die and get out. Yeah, but they just seemed very clearly on different pages there, which is very confusing because most of the time VP completely plays together. Yeah. But they just didn't do a good job in that fight.
And they need to be extra careful now because the LC just has so much damage. Plus 112 at 30 minutes. I think that's above par. I mean, that's more than you would hope for at this stage of the game. And now she's starting to get pretty farmed. So if they're not careful with their positioning, almost anyone getting caught now is an easy kill for Empire, unless the Tide is like right there to reset. But even now that she has a BKB, that's not always the answer. So you can still find those kills even if Ravage is on point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, they get good arrow on Witch Doctor.
Roche low, but they will stay committed for it. Slark grabs the Aegis, killed by the Radiant. Now Havos just charges out. Silent just goes running in. BKB on, finds no fear in the pit, and will just go to chopping. Gets an easy kill on the Witch Doctor. But now on the backside, FNG dies to yet another duel from FN. Havos getting low and does end up getting taken out. Punish as well. Manages to drop his ult as a last-ditch effort, but Empire, now they're the ones that look like they don't have a game plan. They're getting picked apart. 1 for 3, and Aloha Dance with the Aegis will go down here for the first time at least. No Shadow Dance. Be hard to survive. They should be able to just stun him and bring him down and get their gem back. Do they have no detection?
Yeah, they lost their gem. And
they don't have any sentries.
Samurana has sentries, so...
Oh, no, you're right.
There.
Okay.
Alright, finally we get to see what Troll can do, and it's entirely based on the fact that he has BKB. Pops BKB, runs into the pit, and Witch Doctor's like, what do I do? Can't do anything. He just gets attacked down, and then you just saw Troll just continues to attack. If you can't stun Troll, he is a huge threat at this stage in the game, especially with Bloodlust. So finally with the BKB, he's going to start scaling up. But man, I wonder what would have, like, they just couldn't take a team fight before now. If you would have gotten the BKB earlier, they might just be blowing out this game entirely.
Yeah. Well, Ogre now has enough for his Aghanim Scepter. Again, I think a potentially game-changing item. Also, Guardian Greaves now out on the Tide Hunter. So, still a relatively even game, actually. I'm looking at the graph, and Empire was starting to pull ahead, and after that victorious exchange for Virtus.pro, things have leveled out once more. So, 30 minutes in, it's coming down more to initiation and positioning. Anything else, and that's the way we like it here. Ember Spirit also has a Blink Dagger, so G has a little extra reach with his initiation too.
I really like Ags on Ogre versus Slark for the fact as well that if you do multicast on the Slark, there's a chance that you will actually still stun through his Dark Pact because the amount of time that they trigger is a little bit lengthened. So he uses his Dark Pact too early, and you hit him with 2 Fire Blasts, first your regular and then your Unrefined. There's a good chance that eventually those are going to lead into a stun and really mitigate the DPS that Slark can do. If you get a stun on Slark, that's oftentimes, with pro players, what starts the chain of death. If you stun him once, everybody else knows it's time to focus him. So Ogre's going to be really useful here in these upcoming fights. And he's just really tanky as well. There is a lot of damage on Empire, but it's not amazing damage. And if they force the duel out on Ogre instead of somebody like Ember Spirit, then Ember Spirit's going to get way more value out of his hero as well.
Alright, VP, they smoke up. That's their ward that's on the ground, so see how they move about the map here. Looks like they're going to head just towards the top lane, maybe thinking that Empire were going to push, but Empire just back out. And you look at Dire Vision, and yeah, that's a little bit disappointing from a Virtus.pro perspective.
They're hoping for a duel, I think, is what they were expecting there on the top lane.
Yeah,
there's an Arcane Rune on Ogre, but he's really low on mana. So I don't know if this fight will go well. He's going to need to pick up a mana item next. Like, Urn does not cover it at all. In a lot of cases, you need like a Soul Ring or an Arcane Boost, because every time you use Unrefined, you kill almost all of your mana pool. So you need some major mana items to catch up later.
Yeah. I wonder what he goes for next, if the trek towards like an Octarine is just so far off that there's no way.
I guess Octarine kind of works, but it's only 100% mana. I find the best item is Bloodstone, but it's so expensive, and in a lot of ways there's just better items to buy in the late game than something like that. Maybe even like a Yule's would be better, or a Yule's plus or Staff would be more useful than something like a Bloodstone.
Charge in onto Phobos. G's the one that gets caught by the duel though. And with that Blade Mail, it's just so much damage. Phobos gets glimpsed back down to the low ground. Two very important cores on Virtus.pro on the sideline. Tied actually without a buyback here for just under a minute.
I don't think they're going to have to buy back. At the most, it'll be a tier 2, but makes for a hard game for a VP, man. Every time that duel happens, it just delays Embers so much. If you had a Linken's or something, the game's so much easier. Like, the only way they get a gank off then is if Legion gets like a Linken's breaking item, like a Force Staff, or if somebody's in the area.
Silent. He's in trouble. Funnick with the invisibility rune. Scouts it out. BKBs, but still the charge from Havos. He gets stunned under the tower. He wanted another strike, but now the Unrefined comes. Arrow hits him as well. Havos may well die. Yes, he does. Lil now moved into the tree line. They got the detection. Duel goes off, and that's another victory for the LC. 2, and 14 on FN right now with 166 plus damage.
He's been doing a great job. I think that was a big mistake from Silent to go farm there, though. Like, G literally just got dueled doing Ancients, and then he went to Ancient. Like, that's a huge,
obviously a ward
huge
somewhere.
mistake. Obviously a ward, right? I don't know, I didn't see how the initiation started. Maybe Slark was there, so they thought, okay, maybe Slark just scouted me, but that was a really dangerous place to farm for Silent there. And it led to an Ogre death and a duel win. Like, at least they got a kill out of it because they chain stunned Spiritbreaker a million times, but that was an overly dangerous thing that Silent just did.
Yeah, and in that case, it was a double whammy. There's a ward up on the high ground and also Funnick with an invisibility rune. So 2 ways that they were scouting out that time. G up top. Oh, man. Remnants away. Just as FN comes in for another solo pickoff.
He's got to be so terrified now. Like, there's an AC up on the Legion as well, so his wimpy 10 armor that he has is even less. Like, he actually dies in like 4 right clicks pretty soon here from Legion. Yeah. And that's a place you almost never see Ember at.
Yeah, and Slark is now he's starting to pass critical mass. I mean, he's got a Moon Shard that he hasn't eaten, just hanging out with all that extra attack speed, and he's got a Demon Edge, so probably an MKB at some point
really
here.
Yeah, he definitely
already a
needs
talisman
MKB.
up on the Troll, so definitely the MKB.
Well, and Troll obviously just has natural miss chance from Whirling Axes, so he absolutely has to get an MKB. But it synergizes really well with attack speed, so I really like the item build here. Rather than going Basher, MKB plus Moonshard means he's going to do a lot of MKB procs, and he's going to drain a lot of stats from his enemy heroes.
Yeah, you're right. It all just synergizes very well with Slark wants to do in this game, no doubt. LC also is still at an 8-second BKB. That's one of the other things for Empire is they've gotten really good initiations in these last few fights, and it's kept FN's BKB very healthy, and that actually does start to matter as we get into that like later part of the mid game. An 8-second BKB is really huge.
You're gonna try to grab Havost here.
Speaking of BKBs, his is on the way. This will be a great time to find a kill. Not sure if they're gonna grab him though.
Well, the Potom Invis is gone now. Their items haven't really scaled much since before. Silent is, like we pointed out, trying to get a butterfly. Oh, he actually has it. He has the Eagle Song on the courier already. Alright, that's pretty good. It's not going to be good against the Slark, though, once that MKB comes out, but at least for Legion it'll help, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
It will help his damage output. It does have some nice attack speed, but Silent is still farming really well. It feels like he's had kind of a down game overall. Like it seems like we've seen the Troll die a lot, but he's still farming really great. 9 kills, 8 assists. He's still been very active. How long until the MKB on Slark? Do they have a... No, geez, not long. He's only 700 gold off if he doesn't care about buyback. So it's going to be a very small window where Silent has an advantage.
Yeah, and even the Butterfly doesn't help that much against Legion, because if Legion duels Troll and just pops the Blade Mail, as long as Silent hasn't used BKB yet, that is, then he's just going to kill himself by doing damage to the Legion. So the evasion doesn't help out that much there. It does help against Spiritbreaker, and it does help out against Witch Doctor ulti, so that is some advantage that Troll will get, but... not completely sold on the Butterfly here. I wonder if something like a Scotty would have been better.
Yeah, just give you a little more HP, the utility of the slow, all that kind of stuff. He is now up on the Spirit Breaker. Havost avoiding death in the bottom lane. Give him that extra bit of gold he needed to complete it. So something else here going the way of Empire. And also Witch Doctor has an Aghanims, which we didn't mention, but a Ghost Scepter to boot. So now he has something to survive against the Troll. If he wants to just channel that ultimate, he can at least get 4 seconds of channeling when the Troll can't really do anything to stop him.
Yeah, and wasting 4 seconds of Troll's BKB because Witch Doctor will be the hero that Troll's aiming for. Oh, they're going to fight though. Do they have vision?
Smoke from BC. Oh, they catch the LC. The Ravage only hits 1. They thought the rest of his team was there, but still a quick hit on the LC. Good kill there.
Yeah, maybe a little overkill to Ravage, but what a big arrow, man. Again, that's 2 huge arrows that he's landed. Funnick getting caught, but no stun.
Yep. Okay, Roche. Still a ways off. Going to be a long respawn. Lincoln's on the Ember.
Finally. He's not just going to die to duel all game. I mean, I know he would have loved to have the item earlier, but now VP can actually play this game is how this feels. They don't have to worry about duel as much. It's harder for the Legion to get those off. Is it too late though? Like he's already got so much damage picked up on his hero.
Yeah, and
plus 166.
One synergy as well that they have with the Spirit Breaker is he can... Oh, arrow connects onto Funnick. Is this another freebie here for the Dire? Yeah, it sure is. Charge coming into FNG, but hey, up top, we've got a Slark hitting a tier 3 tower there. It will be 1 TP. It's Lil. And that will be enough to repel the Slark, at least for now. Still 50% damage on a tier 3 for a pick-off on the Disruptor. Not the worst exchange for Empire.
We'll get 1,000 gold here.
1,000 gold?
Still not sure what he's going to get for his mana item. I guess he could just go back to base occasionally. Yeah. In super long drawn-out fights, though, he will be really mana limited.
But yeah, on that point of the Lincolns, they can still coordinate around the duel because you've got Spirit Breaker who can break a Lincolns from across the map with Charge of Darkness. So it's a pretty short cooldown. He should have it up pretty much any time they want to set up a kill.
It's definitely a really scary. Good point.
Because I was thinking, wow, they actually don't have much to break Lincolns, but that is the almost trump card to some degree.
Anywhere else on the map and Lincoln's is wasted.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
And pretty much any time LC would initiate, you probably have some vision on him, so... You have to time it right, though, because I think if he sees his Lincoln's break, that would be a sign like, okay, time to get out of here, let's blink or Remnant or what have you. But they see Roche is up. I think Arrow scouted it out. This is Roche 3, so Aegis Cheese. Probably going to be the focal point of this game. We'll see VP smoke at their tier 3, and Empire, they're already turtled up on their side of the river around the pit. Looking at ward coverage, Dire only have 1 on their side, Radiant actually lacking some ward coverage in this area of the map. They'll smoke up as well. They've got Slark in the front line with the Shadow Blade.
Do they have a gem? They just broke smoke.
There's a gem on Phobos. Oh, here we go. FNG leads to the high ground. Great position. Phobos really deep into the fight. Phobos will use the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough to keep FNG alive. BKBs were deployed by the time he used it. The mech a little bit late. Aloha Dance into the Shadow Dance, trying to do everything he can to bring down Lil, but it's not going to happen. Meanwhile, on the other side, Silent gets dueled by FN, won't be able to take the victory. It's FN that wins yet again. A dominating streak down, but it's G in the middle of the fight doing pretty big damage. Cleaves starting to add up, has to Remnant away. It's a 2-for-1. Everyone on Empire looking to be reasonably weak. Funnick will get left behind and stunned. That'll be a 2-for-2 now. Both teams start to disengage.
Man, that fight almost went well for VP with the Slark being out of position, but Spirit Breaker came through a perfect time there with the BKB and just disrupted everything that VP wanted to do. So, ended up being a pretty equal fight.
Yeah, although now Empire moving to the pit. VP could potentially contest, but it's going down fast. There's a lot of damage on these heroes. And that's it, a free Roche for Empire.
Jesus,
gets the Aegis. Okay, Slark gets it.
Yeah, oh, I guess he didn't try to steal an item because he had no item slots. But
yeah, I thought he was going to try to steal the cheese. Get denied. Yeah, it looks like they killed it.
I heard them eat it. They ate it.
Somebody ate it. Okay.
I remember a burp distinctly. So.
Okay, there you go.
Sure, it was that.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, and that BKB was so big for Hobos though in that fight. Like, it just completely changed how that fight went.
Yeah.
It's like hero after hero gets punished. First the Mirana died, and then they went after the Ogre.
Yeah, if he didn't have the BK, I thought that leap from FNG was incredible because he was on the low ground, kind of isolated, then he pulled Havost in way deeper than he wanted to go, but he had a long duration BKB, so he just popped it, finished off FNG, and then just walked back to his side of the fight and ended up kind of getting him in almost a better position to do a lot of damage and VP into 2 sides.
There was also a period where Ogre got really unlucky. After the Dark Pact ended, or the Shadow Dance, he went for a stun and then an Unrefined, and neither of them multicasted, which is incredibly low chance. There's a 60% chance of a 2 times cast alone, 25% of a 3 times, and 2.5 for 4 times. It's a really low chance that you don't get any multicasts. So 2 spells and neither of them multied on Slark, that could have been a dead Slark. Like, the fight could have been completely turned around.
Yeah, you're right. Uh-oh. They find Slark. There's been a Moonlight Shadow used, and they jump right onto Aloha Dance, but Silent, he's in the middle of it. Static Storm comes down. They've got huge damage. Silent's dead. Oh my. Now the rest of the fight breaks out. Mirana just gets bashed again as she gets knocked down from full to 0. Cass will break the Lincolns here. And the rest of VP just kind of trying to split. Havos will use his BKB, goes in onto G, gets another bash. Phobos tries to blink out, but glimpse back. Can he get out of the kinetic field? Yes, he can. He might still be able to make it out. Cask will connect, nowhere to bounce to, and he will just start to walk away. Meanwhile, on the other side, they turn it around on Havos, actually, but FN finds yet another dual target. Lil does the damage to bring him down. It's going to be close, but no, the big beefy Ogre lived just long enough to not hand over any additional dual damage.
I think that's the only lost duel of the entire game.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
And it wasn't even really a loss, it was just a break-even duel. Nobody wins.
Man, I'm sure Silent is kicking himself about his BKB. He just delayed it for so long. He started hitting the Slark, he put it off, and all of a sudden the Disruptor ulti came in, and he has Ags now, I'm sure. And because of that, no BKB. So that was a pretty big mistake from Silent. He did not get enough value out of his hero.
Yep. The Disruptor is really coming in strong at this point. Now we'll see Empire just move in towards the high ground. There is a glyph now for Virtus.pro. Start to make a stand. The tier 3 towers fall. Aloha Dance just hit so hard and so fast at this point. Remember, he still has the Aegis of the Immortal, 5k gold up. There are some buybacks available here for VP, so they could take a fight and still make a hold. Melee Barracks soon to fall, though it looks like. Shadow Dance used. It's the courage, or the press your attack there. BKB popped by Legion Commander on the backside. Almost has a Ravage. They could maybe still grab a couple of kills, but no Searing Chains from G. And TP out from Funnick, no Ravage used. They'll find no fear, and they hit him with an arrow. Starstorm goes Scepter. Delays the inevitable there, buffs up that final star. I think Empire will live with, or be okay with just a Witch Doctor dead for a full lane of barracks there in the mid.
I mean, they got unlucky again. That Cask hit the Tide out of like 4 heroes. Like, it actually, there was like 4 heroes and 4 creeps, and it hit the Tide right when he was about to blink and go for a triple Ravage. Like, yeah, could have gotten at least an extra kill there.
Yep. Good stuff for Empire. They're getting a lot more momentum in this game. Aloha Dance, they knew he was there because he walked right by that ward. Silent gonna try to man-fight him, and Phobos comes in. That'll be the end of the Aegis, but Funnick's here. He pops the ultimate. Static Storm comes down, and it's Silent. He should go down in return. Ravage from Phobos, just not enough. BKB from Havos will mitigate it, and now the counter initiation comes. A victorious duel for the LC finishes off Tidehunter, and the rest of VP have no choice but to retreat. It started off so well.
Yeah.
But Aegis for Tide as well as Troll and a Ravage. That is a nice fight there for Empire.
They keep getting there just in time. The blink on Funnick there with the glimpse back and the ulti just guarantees the kill, and now they're going to go high ground. They're going to have to definitely buy back this time. They can't get 2 racks. There's no way. It's way too hard for them to come back. There's too much gank potential.
Even if Tide buys back here, still 110 seconds before Ravage is up. They'll just go right down to the bottom tier 3. No glyph here for the Dire side. Aloha Dance could just go for objectives with the ultimate, but they will play it safe and back out.
Detection.
Even use the BKB on FM. Aloha Dance goes right back in to finish off the ranged barracks. Now Melee start getting chopped at. Buyback used by the Tidehunter. Searing Chains on 2 from G. They start to focus FN. He's got the Blade Mail on, but it doesn't matter. This time the Ogre gets a little bit lucky, and they'll finish him off. Glimpse back. They'll make things easier for Slark to survive, and he will just run away.
It's like no way they catch him. Save the gem.
Uh-oh.
And they do. It's on Mirana, actually. They can maybe do this.
Aloha Dance getting a little greedy here. Needs to be careful. And yeah, he'll just make it away. A tier 3 tower falls.
Oh, he's
maybe they'll find him now. Moonlight Shadow's used. They stun onto Aloha Dance. Big damage from the Ember Spirit. They bring it down. Havos is BKB'd. Funnick again with a Static Storm and Kinetic Field. Kind of breaks up the fight, but the damage just isn't there. G should be able to walk away. Havos gets stunned as he tries to charge. Now he's forced to fight, and this beefy Spirit Breaker does have a Heaven's Halberd. It buys him a little bit of time. In the end, can't survive. Sign of life for Virtus.pro, perhaps. They get a couple of nice kills.
Dude, this game is crazy. This game is actually insane. That was huge play to use the Midnight Shadow. They predicted that they would be safely farming in the safe lane, and they got him. The Slark kill was so huge. If they can keep killing Slark, they can come back in this game. They have to keep getting those kills, and it's so hard to get the initiation. But that's why Ogre grabbed a Blink. If they find Slark a little bit out of position, they can Blink Fire Blast. That would do a huge amount. It's gonna buy something. Sells the urn, and nothing yet for Lil. Not sure what he's gonna get. Maybe Lotus Orb would be okay.
Oh yeah, Lotus could be good here.
Give him mana regen. It's not amazing mana, but
even just like reflecting a cask or something could be really effective here. I mean, we brought it up a few times. The VP team is a little bit light on lockdown, so kind of stuff could make a difference. Tier 2 tower in the top lane does fall. Only one outer tower remaining. It is this Tier 2 here in the mid lane for Empire. Virtus.pro looking to seize the day here. They know their back's up against the wall and they need to make something happen. They've got a double damage rune on the Ember Spirit. Not much time left, but enough that they might be able to just pop somebody. No Fear just gets obliterated. That double damage rune definitely did some work. Funnick does manage to use his ult, but it's going to cost him his life. Lil comes in for the kill. FN gets off a duel, but he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to get the bonus damage, but they still kill him. Buyback's being used here. They'll get a kill on the Mirana as the Boast pops the BKB and goes in. Aloha Dance back in the fray, ready to fight. Ravage comes out, connects on the entire lot of Empire, but VP just don't have the resources. Now Trolls down, no buyback, out of the game for 100 seconds. Empire will make a successful hold. The Boast with a charge out of the base, stun from Lil. Might still be able to walk away here. He did pick up the soul booster, so spent most of that unreliable. Blink Dagger coming up soon. It's gonna be close, it's gonna be close. He gets the Blink. Lil, what a player.
Oh my god. I was nervous for him there. I can't imagine what he was feeling like. That was amazing. Super sick blink to the left. The only way that he lived there was if he blinked left or a high ground.
VP are in big trouble though, Purge. No troll for 65 seconds. They have a glyph. No Ravage for 100 seconds. I was going to say a minute. It's even more than that. Almost 2 minutes. Yeah. This is a hard defense to make here.
He gets dueled here. It's bad. Ember Spirit can kind of defend well. Think he'll defend maybe.
BKB gets used, but G goes in for the big damage. They'll lose their Tidehunter. No buyback on him either. He'll be coming up right around the time Ravage does in 80 seconds. Now Funnick gets stunned, brought down by the Ember Spirit. They'll lose the melee barracks down bottom. That's all they lose, though. This is not too bad. BKB used by Boast. Looking for another strike, but can't find it, and it is a wasted BKB. Aloha Dance all by himself up top. Doing big damage to the Tier 3 tower, gets the kill there, uses Shadow Dance just for objectives, going for the melee barracks, sidesteps the arrow, nicely done there. Now G in the front lines, taking some damage from No Fear. This ultimate actually doing a lot of work. G getting low. They're going to focus the structures, and this should be Megas. Empire have taken out all the barracks now, and VP could maybe go for one last all-in effort. But that's about all they've got. Aloha Dance just barely survives through it. Dark Pack keeps him alive. No Fear won't be so lucky. They'll get the gem back.
Oh, they see him. They can kill him.
Aloha Dance. Oh, he wants to go in on the G and he gets the kill. Lil will turn it around, though. Buyback used by the Ember Spirit. Slark still has a buyback available. They can manage to kill the LC. And Slark again. Maybe they can win, but that's a big ask. P, I think, are... I don't know, man. How do they turn this one around, Purge?
They gotta win team fights, and they gotta kill the core heroes, and it's gonna come down to what Lil gets, I think. Does he buy Bloodstone, or... Okay, he is going Octarine. The best thing about Octarine in this case, it doesn't give you as much mana as a Bloodstone does, but the important thing is that it lowers the cooldown of your stun. So now his regular stun is a 4.5 second cooldown, and his unrefined is a 4.5. So you could very easily do 3 stuns in a row on somebody. Fire Blast, unrefined, Fire Blast. Very easy.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. Even the Ignite, though, only an 11-second cooldown, Bloodlust down below 4. It's a big item on the Ogre, and we'll see if it's enough. This could be the final push here from VP.
Yeah. They have to do this now. Like, Ember Spirit's amazing against defending Megas, so they could defend this for a very long time, but they need to get some diebacks. It's the only way they win this.
They did get a few core items, though, since we last checked in. Data list completed on the Troll Warlord for Silent, and G does have a Desolator. Of course, with Ember Spirit, it does apply the debuff to anyone that gets hit by Sleight of Fist, so it is a pretty good item on him just to stack up that minus armor and open up for the Troll to do more physical damage.
They break the Lincolns here, so could be a duel. There was a dieback or a buyback before from Legion, so if they kill him first, that's going to be huge.
Yep. LC was pushing the top lane, now TP's back. They'll get a free Tier 3 tower before this fight really starts. It's VP that go in aggressive. Damage onto No Fear, getting down to about half health. Now they'll pop the Moonlight Shadow. Havos uses the BKB, but Lil, he gets trapped. Ravage connects on all 5, but it'll cost Phobos his life. Now Silent just getting knocked around inside of this ultimate from Disruptor. It looks like a disaster. 4 down for VP. G goes down to boot. 5 dead with no buybacks, and that'll be it. VP GG's out, and Empire take us to an ace match in our opening series here in group number 2.
Man, VP played pretty well there, but just way too many times that their cores got killed by duels and things like that. And Silent just got punished way too early. I really think he needed to rush BKB before SNY.
Yep.
And a lot of times when Troll was the top tier hero, he would get Mask of Death and then go into KB. He wouldn't even buy a Helm of the Dominator. He wouldn't buy a Yasha in a lot of cases. You just need a really, really fast BKB. And it just delayed them